Wanted to show you the answer to application exercise 5-1, and this is the variable cost increase for a butter firm that's not in France. And the not being in France lets me analyze the butter market outside of France. So I want to walk you through how you set up such a problem and set up any event study. First, I've got the axes made. First, you draw a demand curve, any demand curve. Then you draw a supply curve, the market supply curve. And you identify this initial long-run equilibrium price. So you pretty much draw the market as clearing and then come over and draw the initial demand curve for the firm, flat line at the going market price because it's a competitive market. Then draw the average total cost curve, also known as the isoprofit line where profits are zero. It's a very important benchmark in the structure of the isoprofit functions. Then there's this marginal cost curve, and of course the firm level marginal cost curve is where the market supply curve comes from. The market supply curve is the aggregation across quantity of all the firm level marginal cost functions. So this is our basic model, and I walked you through how to set that up because it's really important to know how to do that. And this is our base case. We're just going to assume that the market's in long-run equilibrium, and that means nothing wants to change except for we're going to look at the changes that happen with the event under study. So this is a variable cost increase, and I'm going to do my short-run analysis in blue. So with cost increases, we start our event analysis over in the firm level, the firm panel. So marginal costs go up, and let's say it's some constant amount up a dollar per kilo higher, whatever. It doesn't really matter what units are. I'm going to shift everything up vertically by, or at least I'm trying, given my limited drawing skills, by the same amount. So the new average total cost curve, the new isoprofit line where profits are zero, shifts up, and so does the marginal cost. So everything shifts up by $1. And I just ran into some weird trouble. Hopefully that didn't disrupt my recording. The key to doing these events correctly is to make sure the shift in the market supply curve, I didn't mean to do that. Make sure the shift in, there's what I wanted to do. No, I'm mastering a new screencast tool. I wanted to get a pointer, and here it is. It's in a different place. Anyway, make sure that this vertical shift in the supply curve is proportionally the same as the vertical shift in the marginal cost curve, and that's where it's coming from. The shift in the supply curve in the short run is coming because each firm in the industry has experienced this cost jump. All right, let's get back to our drawing. So I'm going to carefully draw, or pretty carefully draw. I'm not a very good drawer. We've established that already. That marginal costs go up and the market supply goes up by about the same amount. All right, well, here we are. Notice that in the short run, price goes up, but not by the full amount of the cost increase. That was a critical feature of the correct short run analysis that all but one team missed. So make sure it's fine to miss things in the in class as we practice, but come the assessment, the quiz, we want to make sure we get that right. So what's going on? Price has gone up to P1. At the firm level, quantity's gone up to small q1. At the market level, in the short run, market quantity has fallen to capital Q1. And we've got one more thing left to do. It turns out, remember that the new average total cost curve, or the average total cost level at Q1 is average total cost 1. And since we can express profits, I need a little space for notes here. Remember that profits are equal to the quantity P minus ATC, all that times the quantity of output. That's a small q there. Anyway, graphically, average total costs are higher than price. So that's that P minus ATC is a negative number. And to get to total profits, or in this case, total losses, our average profit is this loss on each unit of output, and we produce Q1 worth of output. So when we multiply this average loss times the quantity produced, we get the area of this rectangle, and this is the size of the economic loss in the short run. Loss. All right, well, that's the end of the short run case. And here I don't have a pocket protector full of different colored pens, but I have this screencast tool that will let me do the same thing. So that's the end of the short run, and we look and we say, oh, okay, in the short run, firms are losing money due to this event. Price has gone up, but not by enough to make up for their cost increase. If nothing's going to change, and given that the cost increases seem to be related to climate change, a long-term phenomenon, given that nothing's going to change over time, some of these producers are going to say, oh, well, we have other things to do, and we're going to use our land for, we can build condos on it if we're near a city, or we can grow something else, or we can, there's a lot of other things besides running cows. Around here, you see a lot of former dairy farms and former hazelnut orchards, etc., becoming vineyards. So whatever, somebody's going to go and do something else. Well, that means they're going to exit the butter making industry. And as each firm exits, remember this market supply, we count up over firm marginal cost functions. Every firm that exits causes the market supply curve to shift left just a little bit. Well, when's it all going to stop? Only when the survivors in the industry can break even. So we're looking for that point where the new market price, the new long-run market price, this is going to be long-run exit. The blue shift up is the increase in variable cost, increase in marginal cost. The leftward shift in the supply curve that's outlined in red is the result of long-term exit. So in the long run, price is going to rise by the full amount of the cost increase, so the survivors are going to be back to breaking even. Market output is going to have gone down by quite a lot. But firm level output for the survivors, because I drew everything up just by shifting up vertically, the minimum average total cost curve, where it intersects this marginal cost curve, is going to be at the same quantity as the initial quantity. So the survivors return to producing Q naught, but now they're getting P1 for it, which is enough to compensate them fully for that increase in marginal costs due to climate change effects of making it more difficult to raise cows and produce milk and butter and cream and all that good stuff. Well, good stuff if you're not lactose intolerant.